Hi guys, and welcome back to Aisha.Academy. And in today's video, we're going through equation of a circle as requested. So when it comes to equations of a circle, when the center is at the origin, the formula is x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. If the center is not at the origin, then the x and y values tend to be added or taken away from certain numbers. So there is a rule to remember. Okay, so for instance, if we've got a coordinate AB, if your a squared plus b squared is less than the radius squared, this would tell you that this coordinate AB is going to lie inside the circle. If, however, a squared plus b squared is greater than the radius, so greater than r squared, then this will tell you that the coordinate AB would lie outside of the circle as it's bigger than the radius squared. If a squared plus b squared is equal to r squared, so not more than or less than, but equal to, then this tells you that the coordinate AB lies on the circle. And it's important to notice these three things, as sometimes they can be follow-up in exam questions. Secondly, the circle crosses the x and y axis at the positive and negative values of the radius. This is if the center is at the origin. And lastly, refresh yourself with the circle formulas of the circumference, which is 2 times pi times r, also known as pi times diameter, and diameter, which is 2 times your radius. So, an example, let's say we have this graph and we have this circle drawn. And the question now says, what is the equation of the circle drawn? The first thing you're going to notice is that when the center is at the origin, the radius has fallen on the number 6. And so we would write it as x squared plus y squared is equal to 6 squared, and 6 squared is equal to 36. So that would be your final answer. And then now, if a follow-up question, which is what I was mentioning before, how these can come up as follow-up exam questions, if it now says, would the point 54 lie on, inside, or outside of the circle, you're going to substitute the x and y values into the equation of the circle, and that is going to give you the answer 41 for this coordinate. 41 is greater than 36, and so because of that, this tells us that this point lies outside the circle. So now we're going to head on into some practice questions. Example 1. So in this example, it's given us the equation of the circle, a point that lies on the circle, and it wants us to work out the equation of the tangent to that point. So one thing you should remember is the tangent and the radius of the circle are always 90 degrees. Okay, so therefore the gradient of the tangent will always be perpendicular to the gradient of that point that is meeting the tangent on the circle. So to refresh your memory, to work out gradient, we do the change in y divided by the change in x. So what we need to now do is work out the gradient of point P. And to do that, we're going to do the y value, which is root 7 over 2. Divided by the x value, which is 3 over 2. But one thing you should note is that we're dividing fractions here, which I have a video and a link below to refresh your memory. And so when it comes to dividing fractions, the easiest thing is to flip the second fraction round, and this will change it into a multiplication. A multiplication is 10 times easier. So you'll end up doing root 7 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 3. So as you can see, we have 2 on the numerator and the denominator, and therefore these 2's are going to cancel out. And this is going to simplify our fraction to root 7 over 3. So now we have the gradient for point P. To work out the gradient of the tangent, we have to do the negative reciprocal, also known as -1 divided by the √7/3. And I have a video on perpendicular lines to refresh your memory on how to answer these questions. So that's what you should always do to work out the perpendicular gradient. And by doing this calculation, we would be left with an answer of -3/7. So you basically flip it essentially and stick a negative in front as well, which I did mention in the video. Okay, so now that we have our gradient for a tangent, remember tangents are a straight line, so you're going to be using the format of y equals mx plus c. So we've got our y is equal to our m, our gradient is -3/7, and then the x plus c. But we need to work out what plus c is. And so we're going to substitute the x and y values of point P into the equation because point P does lie on this tangent. Okay, so we're going to substitute them into the equation of the tangent and rearrange it to work out what point C is. So we'd end up with √7/2 is equal to 3/√7 multiplied by 3/2 and then plus C. And so by rearranging all of this, you would end up with C being equal to √7/2 plus 9/2√7. And we can't simplify this any further, so we'd actually leave it like this. And so therefore we have our C, we have our M, and so your final answer for the equation of the tangent will be y is equal to -3/√7 because that's our gradient, and then x, because remember it's written as y equals mx, and then our plus C, which is plus √7/2 plus the 9/2√7. So the key things to remember here is that whenever you have equations of a circle and you have a tangent meeting, remember that tangents have a perpendicular gradient and tangents are a straight line. So you are using your y equals mx plus c principle as well. So example 2. So in this example, it actually wants us to sketch the circle. So to make your circle nice and neat, you can use a compass. So the first thing is we need to work out our radius. And our radius is going to be the square root of 9, which is 3. So in this, we've got x squared plus y squared. There's no numbers next to them. That tells us that the center is the origin. We're going to use our compass with your pencil, and that would allow you to draw this lovely, neat circle. Okay, and that's that answer done. Then it says drawing the line x plus y equals 1 on the grid, we can solve the 2 points that lie when those two equations cross. So that would be the line x plus y equals 1. So that first intersection point, which you literally just need to look at what numbers fall on that point on the x and y axis. So it's going to be x is equal to 2.6 and y is equal to -1.6, and then the other point where they intersect, which is x is equal to -2.6 and y is equal to 2.6. Sorry for the error. X is equal to -1.6 and y is equal to 2.6. So yeah guys, I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more content.